Hey guys, and welcome to the first episode of Tank Talk. I've got Grant here, who is a local aquarist, as well as somebody who does work in the or works at a fish store. But he is here today as an aquarist. So,
Yeah, I've taken care of freshwater tanks a good portion of my life. Just recently, in the last, 5 years, almost 5.5 years, I guess, that I've actually done saltwater. So yeah, I've actually knows both sides of the world.
great. He is very knowledgeable. Somebody I go to for random ass questions all the time.
Right.
This is the first episode. We kind of have no idea what we're doing. We're just freebasing this. We're just going to talk about random projects we want to try, we're thinking about trying, or are currently working on.
Most definitely.
And I was mentioning earlier when I was showing you my tanks, the one that I want to try and it shouldn't work, but I really want to do it. And I didn't tell you what it was.
Okay.
I want to do a multi-male beta tank.
Okay, that is super hard to do. I actually know a guy that tried to do it one time. He got all the way up. Now, he started off with a 20-gallon. He put 2 male betas in it, just tons of plants, just flooded it with plants.
Right.
But he also flooded it with other fish to distract, and he was able to get away with it. So, I've seen it happen before, but like more than 2 males, it's super difficult.
So here's what I'm thinking. He tried it with a 20 and it worked?
Yes.
Okay.
But he had 2 males, he had his tank just flooded in plants, flooded in like other fish. Like it was quote overstocked.
Right. So here's my theory. I want to do a 40 breeder with a 20 sump for 20 gallon long sump. Straight pipe the drain and return.
Okay.
Heavily planted. And I want 2 male betas and 8 females.
I could see that I could see that working. Only because you're still sticking to 2 boys, and you're just doing multiple girls, and that'd be really cool. I think that's really awesome. Just like your tank above, pairs with the 1 boy and the 2 girls. Easily doable. I'm actually surprised you had it. Is that a 20 gallon?
That's a 20 gallon long.
I'm actually surprised that you have them all 3 in a 20 gallon, but see, you have other fish in there. The same idea. You're adding distractions. So
I've got the plants. I've got large rocks.
In the 40 gallon idea, are you just going to do the females and the 2 males?
I was thinking of going with some cherry barbs.
Okay, cool. Okay.
And running a 20 gallon sump, it'll be massively over filtered.
Oh yeah, you'll get filtration won't be a problem.
Right.
And neither will space.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think you could definitely do it.
I was thinking of going with Anubis. The heavy big leaves as opposed to Java fern.
I would do Anubis. I would do Amazon sorts. I'm such a sucker for Amazons. They grow these beautiful white little flowering buds on them. I wish I had an example. Like you said, we were kind of unprepared. But I mean, they grow these really beautiful white flowering buds over time, and it's just really kind of pretty. I mean, it's really beautiful.
See, I'm a sucker for the red plants.
Okay, yeah, but those, well, I guess so do Amazons. I mean, they require higher iron, but so do Amazons. So, I mean, yeah, totally. But they also require, depending on what plant we're talking about, require higher lighting as well.
Right, and I will say when it comes to lighting, like, I don't know if you noticed, but I have the same brand lighting on all of my tanks.
Yeah.
It's not the highest quality company out there.
But then again, you're rocking Java Fern, which is really low key, just like all the way around. So.
Well, it's also, and actually those are planted lights.
Yeah.
And it's Nycrew.
Okay.
Is the brand I'm using.
Yep.
Really cool company. They're actually sending me promo stuff.
Really?
This week. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I could do it. you guys will be getting 2 unboxing and demo videos because they were going to do one for the Pro Timer for me, and Amazon screwed up the order.
Bravo.
And so they were like, oh, we're really sorry, so we're now going to throw in the automatic fish feeder as well for you to try out. And I'm like, okay.
Sure.
Twist my arm. That works.
Yeah.
So I'll be doing the Pro Timer, which I'm going to set up on the puffer tank.
Nice.
And then I've got the fancy light on my Amazon tank.
That's going to be nice.
That's the light there that will cycle through 24 hours. At night, it automatically cycles down into a sunset to blue.
The sunrise, sunset.
And then at night, it goes pitch black.
Yep.
Right at midnight, it goes pitch black for about 20 minutes and starts to gradually lighten back up until sunrise.
Oh, cool.
And then at noon, it goes pure white, max setting.
Oh, yeah.
For noon.
That's awesome.
It even has a thunderstorm setting.
I love that. All the tanks that I set up, I always try to get lights with like the thunder setting.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why. I think it's just really dope.
I'm going to admit, on Halloween, when I'm watching horror movies, that's the setting I'm going to use
just like
all
sets
night.
the mood. Yeah.
Lightning storm in the Amazon tank, horror movies.
Right.
I should probably watch Anaconda first.
On Halloween? Anaconda?
It's so bad that it's wonderful.
It is good. That's actually a classic. That's...
Yeah. I mean, we go with like Piranha.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. That's all. The original Piranha.
Or wait.
But that actually would better fit the theme a little bit better. You know, it's fish.
Or we just go with, Lake Placid with Betty White.
Done.
Yeah. Because you can't go wrong with Betty White.
Can't do. Nope.
Yep.
Done.
God love the woman. She can't die.
Forever live.
She's older than sliced bread.
She's kind of like the queen.
Yeah.
She'll live forever. No, but no, I love setting up tanks that are just really just off track. That's the tanks that just really, I mean, even though it's easier to kind of stay within the frame, you know, that's kind of always what I recommend. You know, I always go, hey, this is what I would do, this is what I would do, but if we want to have a little fun,
right?
You know, but I mean, you always want to be careful. You always want to just always think about the safety of the fish, though. The responsibility of being a fish owner, though. So just making sure that you have the proper size aquarium. You know, I mean, sometimes playing around, like, you know, I saw a guy who had, and this might be actually pretty common, but I thought it was really cool at the time, is a bunch of Oscars with a bunch of like tetras. And like, I was like blown out of my mind. I was like, whoa, these Oscars are going to eat these tetras and just be done. You know, and he's like, nope, they've been together for, what did he say? It was like a year at that time or whatever. So, and these Oscars were big and these tetras were maybe only yay big. So definitely probably edible at that point.
And see, one thing I've found with, you know, keeping aggression to a minimum in like that, my 20-gallon Southeast Asian tank, is almost overfeeding.
Okay, yeah, totally.
You know, especially if you have predatory fish, it's that level of, if you keep them fed and, not hungry.
I say that all the time.
Then they're going to be chill.
But you got to find that balance.
Yeah.
Because if you overfeed, then you have water parameter problems, and then now you're having to kind of maintenance a little bit more. And I mean, that can be a little bit stressful. So, I mean, like, you got to find that balance.
I ran into that with a green algae outbreak on that tank.
Yes.
Green hair algae. It was, and I mean, I did like almost a full teardown cleaning.
Especially nowadays with a lot of the flake foods and the pellets and stuff like that, they come out with higher phosphates in those foods, and phosphates and nitrates just feed.
I cut the pellets out on that tank.
Yep.
And that seemed to help.
I like
dosing with CO2.
Okay.
Because one of the biggest reasons that, or any cause of green hair algae is fundamentally a CO2 imbalance. Mm-hmm. It's what caused the CO2 imbalance could be half a dozen things.
Correct.
But it is that CO2 imbalance that's causing the green hair algae outbreak. because I researched the hell out of green hair algae once I had the outbreak.
I am super old school. I come from the days of just like water changing and just using carbon, right? And now there's all these cool things like, there's all these cool little mechanisms coming out like every year, but like I'm old school. The best solution is dilution. Just water change.
Yeah.
Make sure your parameters are locked down. Do a little bit of scrubbing here and there if there's any outbreaks of algae.
And that is something that we have to deal with living here in Vegas in the desert, more so than other keepers do in other parts of the country, is
True.
We have to do water changes, I think, at a higher rate because of the evaporation water.
Yes.
We're losing so much water. Like right now, when you're walking through, all of my tanks are down by about an inch.
Yep. Most of them are open top too.
Yeah. All of them are.
Oh, all of them?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I saw a top on the bigger one. My bad.
I only keep open tanks.
Yeah. See, that's it. That alone, you'll get an evaporation rate super quick.
Yeah. And it's like, thank God I found that Python for $3.
Yeah.
Because, I hooked that up to the one sink in the center of the house, and I can hit all the tanks, and it's just a quick refill, some prime, and then I'm doing water changes once a week.
But on the saltwater side of things, having an evaporation rate like that for saltwater, you get huge salinity swings. So, like for freshwater, no big deal. We hook up the Python, just like what you said, bang, bang, bang. But saltwater, not an easy swing, because if we're trying to specifically stay within a range of 2.5 or 2.6 because of certain coral, and then all of a sudden we get an evaporation rate and then salinity pops higher, now those coral are no longer.
Because I'm primarily freshwater, that's just, you bringing that up to make me think about like all of our local fish stores with the open top frag tanks.
Yeah. They constantly have to, monitor.
I mean, we're talking frag tanks that are, the size of this concrete pad.
Easy.
What is it? Artistic Oceans?
Yep.
Yeah. Like
Artistic is
their entire
good
center
example
of their store is open frag tank.
Correct. Yeah, a lot of stores with their frag tanks, they like to be open because it's easier to view.
Right.
But they constantly have to monitor those. If not every day, maybe twice a day.
And they're running huge filtration on those.
Yes. Yeah.
Because
thousands of gallons.
Blue Reef, they've got their open underneath their frag tanks is open, so you can actually see their filtration.
Right.
And, it's a massive, massive filtration system for some frags.
But see, really, it's big, but it's really just water volume. It's because, having a frag tank, specifically if it's only frags, if it's only coral, it's easy. Water changing, maybe throw in a skimmer to, kind of get all the
I will
impurities.
say I have yet to see a frag tank that didn't have at least one fish in it.
Well, yeah, why have a fish tank if you're not going to have any fish?
Right. Well, it's one of those, actually the thing I've noticed is a common theme in all of our local fish stores, which we do have an extreme amount here in Vegas.
Especially being in a desert, right?
Right. And then you've got places like, what was it? I saw somebody ranting about living in Boston right there on the harbor, and there's 2.
Yeah.
And they're like, why? And I'm sitting here we're in the middle of the desert. We have, 8?
Yeah. Yeah, we have, just all fish stores, just in general, all the mom and pop shops.
Yeah.
Would you include me?
Yes.
Because I like to think of myself as not as a corporate guy, as my own shop.
I would, but at the same time, that also means we need to include your competitors' fish
as
store.
Well, they all. I don't want to.
No, they have a fish-specific store.
Who? Which one?
Nellis.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Fine. Okay. I've yet
They're
to...
not as nice as yours. There's a reason I drive across town.
I've yet to go to that store, but if you want to include that one, because I wouldn't include everyone,
No.
then I would say about 9 in the valley.
Yeah. Which is
pretty
insane.
good. We're not that big of a city. I
No,
mean, we
we're
are
not.
growing, but we're not that big of a city.
I mean, Vegas is a city that I can drive across town in 45 minutes without taking the highway because for some reason living here, my brain went to Morpheus in the second Matrix of
Right.
get on the highway. Didn't you say getting on the highway was suicide? I did. Yes. That's driving on the highway here.
Yeah.
So I take surface roads everywhere. I'm also from Northern Virginia where we have, depending on the year, worst traffic in the country, and LA's running second, or on the off years, LA has beaten us for worst traffic in the country and we take second place. When you can go 2 miles in 45 minutes and you're like, I'm making great time today.
Yeah. Well, I come from California, where driving to another city to work, it's like 45 minutes to an hour. You know, I drive 15 minutes to go to work. I'm loving it.
Oh, yeah. My wife, depending on which job she's at, it's either a 10 or a 30-minute commute.
Yeah. And that's that part of the day too thing. You know, it's like, well, if you got to jump on the 15 south or north.
Biggest problems when my wife goes, oh, I need to take extra time to go to work tomorrow because Smash Mouth is playing on the Strip.
Oh God, yeah. I
Or
remember.
no, Sugar Ray. It was Sugar Ray, and I was like, Sugar Ray's still performing?
Yeah.
Okay. Today I learned.
Whenever something happens, you know, right there off of the Strip, it shuts the entire thing down. I hate it.
Yeah. So no, we've got an obscene amount of fish stores now. There is one I'm sure you counted, and I don't know if I can even count them as a fish store because it is a terrifying location.
Which one? No, I'm always gonna ask. I'm always talking.
I will throw them under the bus because they deserve it.
Oh shit.
Lances.
Where?
Lances.
Okay, I did count them, and they're old school.
They are.
I remember when I first got into the hobby, I believe they were open.
They were. From what I understand.
Trop Aquarium.
They've been around 40 years.
And Atlantis at the time was open off of Lake Mead and like the 95.
Okay.
God, that takes me back.
See,
That was a beautiful
Lance's,
store.
I went in there for the first time like a month ago.
Really?
Yeah. And it was like one of those, I worked retail for 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going, how is the fire marshal not shut this place down? I see, like, as a former store manager, I saw and learned what code violations are.
Right.
And I'm walking in and I'm like, this would kill some fire marshals. Like, just walking in the door, they see so many violations off the
Shut
bat,
it down.
they just drop dead.
Shut it down.
Like,
Yeah.
let alone the shape, how he houses his fish for sale. They are crammed.
Really?
Most of them have a space that is probably about that big, like 4 inches by maybe 8 for a viewing window, and it's probably about 6 inches deep.
Okay. Well,
And he'll have multiple fish in that space.
I have to defend that just a little bit. I mean, coming from, a fish guy who sells, I cram my fish. Sometimes people come in and they go, wow, you have tons of fish.
Right.
And it's like, yes, I do that here. I do not recommend that at home. But here, I sell, this is like a hotel. They're here maybe a week.
Not just that, though, but you are working in a location where you can monitor your fish much more closely.
Yes.
This is one individual working by himself day in, day out, running a single location, having to monitor all of these.
It can be difficult. I flip a gauge if stuff isn't taken care of properly.
Now, and I did witness that, especially in one tank. He had a tank that was towards the back, or the side wall, I should say, and it was a live rock tank.
Okay.
Dark, like his water was murkier than my blackwater tank. Okay? When the moray eel popped out, and I didn't even realize that there was something in there.
Uh-huh.
And this eel should not have been in that 55. It was a big eel.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Things like that get to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I can understand that. And that's why I do baby stuff. I don't like getting big stuff, and that can kind of bite me in the end too. But I mean, I'm kind of like that too. You know, I do not like having a big old eel in like a 20 gallon.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's no.
And that's the thing, is like, when I go to do my 120 down the road, you know, that's going to be like whiptail catfish, some Jack Dempsey, jaguar fish.
Ooh, jaguar. Oh my God.
Yeah, I want to do a Jack Dempsey in there, an electric blue Jack Dempsey, jaguar fish, and I want a large school of silver dollars.
Okay. I had a buddy who had a jaguar. They are badass.
Beautiful. They are beautiful.
They're
fish.
very beautiful. Badass. Very, very, how do I say this nicely? Strikey. My buddy, every time he'd come to the glass, his jaguar would come straight to the glass and check him and dart at the glass. He thought a couple times he was going to break the glass.
Keep in mind, I did reptiles for years.
Yeah.
And at one point I had 2 reticulated pythons. And my female was 12 feet.
Oh, dude. See, I do fish. I do not do reptiles. My
And
brother does reptiles.
The retics,
Oh, God.
retics are one of the 3 largest pythons in the world. And, it was her and her mate in that tank. And he was just shy of 9 feet.
Whoa.
And they would strike at the glass in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And
I'd be
when
scared to
she-
even open that shit.
When she struck the glass, there was no mistaking that impact.
Whoa.
When I got him at, a little more than I had him, and my buddy that was with me was sitting there going, okay, you know how, he's like, you've been keeping reptiles for a long time, and I'm like, yeah, and he goes, with most reptiles, that any one of them kill you. I'm like, yep, and he goes, these will.
Yeah.
I'm like, yep, understood.
Yep. Oh my God. I could not do that. See, I've owned animals that are very venomous and stuff like that. So I'm very cautious. There's not something that could straight out kill me though.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing. These guys, she got a hold of me the wrong way. That's 12 feet of muscle.
100% muscle almost, right?
Yeah.
It's like something stupid. It's like 92% muscle or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I mean, granted, the worst time I had with her, I know I will never encounter anything nearly this bad in the fish hobby.
Oh,
it was when
got your heart bumping a little bit?
she had a bad shed, and we had to help her with it, which meant that I had to prepare a bathtub with warm water.
Right.
And experienced reptile keeper friend of mine came over, and he and I both grabbed her. He had the 11 feet of body. I had the 1 foot for the head.
Right.
And that was ours to control, to put her in the tub and shed her.
Yeah. Oh my God. See,
we had
again,
to
I
take
only
it-
deal with the scale of smaller
We had to take up,
snakes.
and this is, when they're dealing with a bad shed, think they're a snake's worst day by 10.
Yep.
Super bad mood, super pissed off, they're uncomfortable, they don't feel good.
Yeah. F you.
Yep. And we had to pull her out of the tank and shove her in a bathtub. She was not happy about it.
Right.
Because it was pretty much, all right, you take the bitey end,
Mm-hmm.
and
The
I'll
bitey
take
end.
the rest of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's
too much.
I don't think I could find anything worse in the fish hobby.
Yeah. No, it's pretty chill. It's pretty low key.
Considering it, granted, even if we could have some of the stuff that God knows you and I probably would love to have a tank of in this state that they won't let us.
Right.
You know, yeah, even with them included. Like, God, I would love a piranha tank.
I would just love to get me one of those magnificent, rare, like I would save up the money to get a really beautiful arowana.
Oh, yeah. An Asian arowana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would, just a really, like, just pretty one. Just, I would save the money up for one. But, no, they're
You mean
super
like
legal.
Joey's?
I don't know.
King of DIY.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because his are gorgeous.
His are gorgeous. I don't know.
And see the Motaro Stingray.
See, yeah, that's another good choice.
Yeah.
It's like getting some really nice stingrays.
Yeah.
That we can't own. Like, I don't even know. Like,
I looked at it. It's apparently the entire genus of whatever the Motaro comes from. The PY something.
You're putting me on the spot.
Everything from that genus we're not allowed to have in the state of Nevada.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. I knew
When I was trying to find the roofie,
Mm-hmm.
I spent a lot of time on the fishing game website
Oh, okay.
learning what we can and cannot have in the state.
Interesting.
Before
Went down that dark rabbit hole.
Yeah, before I ended up calling the game warden, and they were like, "No, there's nothing in the rules that says you can't have it."
Yeah, you're not allowed to have that. No, okay.
No, with the roofie for them, it was, there's nothing that says you can't have it,
Right.
so go for it.
Yeah. That's legitly how they kind of run it too. They're like, I don't see that you can't.
Yeah. They're like, I mean, logically, you probably shouldn't own this, but
yeah. No, I've got a really good setup that I'm actually wanting to put together soon. What I really want to do is it's kind of like the idea that you brought up the other day with the inverted tank.
Yeah.
But what I want to do is I want to do the inverted, but with a reef system. So like it's going to have, like, you're going to have the main tank and stuff, and then you're going to have the inverted tank, but it's going to be a coral tank that's going to come up and then up into the inverted tank. So like fish can come up and swim if you will, but like it's I wanted to set it up where it's just like coral can reach and grow and continue to grow upward. So but remember
I think
we
I
talked
figured out
about
the
that.
solution to that, actually.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Okay. Well, do you want to explain the
All right.
problem?
So what we were talking about was the concept of doing an inverted tank, where you see them a lot in ponds. It's where you take a glass or acrylic box and put it in the water, and the easiest way to fill it is they put like a airline tube with a sponge and stick it up under there and suck out the air, filling the water level. Our concern was that, when using a sump, that if the power shuts off and the pump shuts off, then water flow will decrease. It will drop down into the sump, which is great. That's what we want. But when the pump kicks back on, that air chamber is not going to refill in the sump in turn, or the tank would overflow, right?
Well, yeah, technically, yeah, and with the draining, with it overflowing, which is what it's built for, like you said, is so as it lowers, once it breaks the seal from the inverted tank, then all the water in the inverted tank would come crashing down. And that's what we were worried about, is the minute you lost that seal, boom, it would rush.
Yep.
So,
all right, it's kind of a two-step solution.
Okay.
What you would need to do is ensure that glass box, all right, that you've built to house the rockscape, where it goes below the water line, you would have to have it much lower than normal, so that even if the water level were to drop, that chamber would still stay self-sustained.
Oh.
Now, the other step in this is that, because this was another thing I realized after I left the other day when we were talking about this, was how do you ensure that the water in that chamber gets filtered? Because if it stays out of the water current, it may not necessarily get shifted around enough and could develop toxicity within that little chamber itself. So, run straight pipe your overflow and your return and have it in the chamber.
Wait, what? Wait, what? You'd have the overflow on the inverted aquarium?
I would actually have the overflow and the return within that top section. I would have the pipe going straight up into it. So that way the water level is set to that inverted section. And also once the water up there gets returned out the return jet, it would force it down into the rest of the tank.
Interesting.
Or it
I
might
wonder
be,
if that would work.
or
how
you might want to turn.
I'd have to look at that.
You might want to do the overflow on the normal level of the tank, and then have the return up at the top. Because if you have the return at the top section, it ensures that water would push down
Push down.
and force its way out of that chamber to keep fresh water in there.
I wasn't even mad with how you originally set it up. Personally, I would push a pump. I would like set up some kind of little pump.
Yeah.
You know, you would.
But why overcomplicate it?
I guess you're right.
If I could run it with one pump to just do the return and everything, as opposed to having two pumps.
I just worry about that overflow. How much overflow would you?
And
with
here's where
being
that
on
would
top
come
there.
in. I would ensure that very much like my sump running in there. It's not a full sump. If you fill your sump all the way, I don't see the
So
point.
you would keep your sump just on the low side of things.
Right. I have my sump running low, and that way
It can take those extra gallons.
it could take the extra gallonage.
Okay.
And when the pump kicked back on, it would fill from the top down.
Right. And circulate well.
Yeah.
Nice. I can see that. Totally.
Now, you might require actually sealing that glass portion to the tank itself.
That's nothing.
Yeah. Which I was actually even thinking, if you wanted to, you could go through like Elite Glass Company, and you could actually, we could build that entire shape in one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's easy. You can go to
They
any
can
glass
cut.
guy and they can.
Yeah.
Yeah. No time flat.
Yeah. Which Elite Glass Company, by the way, is great. They're the ones that got me the bottom pane and top panes for the 60 cube.
Nice.
Yeah. It's like $35.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about $30 or so, $35 or so.
They said it was a 650 something, some weird number, square foot.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
And they, as soon as I mentioned it was for a fish tank, they're like, "What kind of silicone are you using?" And I was like, "I like you."
Bingo. Yeah. I have a guy. Man, I'm really like I can't remember where they're off of. What?
Yeah, keep going.
I was gonna say, this. I just used any kind of the glass. I wish I could remember their name now. Now I'm drawing a blank. But most glass guys, can cut you up a glass. You just got to make sure that it's a certain thickness. I believe it's
Quarter.
Yeah, quarter.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely quarter. Silicone. So, touchy subject that I made a discovery on. What kind of silicone is safe? Like the GE brand.
So with silicone, I'm very specific on certain types of ones that I use. There's a couple different brands that guys recommend from Home Depot.
Yeah.
I don't use that silicone. I don't. I use straight aquarium silicone.
Okay.
It's the only one I use. It's the only one I trust. And it comes with that extra strength. Now, there's guys that'll live with, and die with that other silicone and stuff like that. But I'm old school. That's just the way I prefer.
And see, like I've got into following a lot of the DIY groups,
Mm-hmm.
and in there, it's cutting costs because like the amount of money I save rebuilding that 60 on my own versus buying it outright,
Yep.
astronomical.
Yep.
And with that, I went with the GE silicone. And one thing I discovered was GE silicone 1 is what everybody will just scream in the groups that this is the only one to use. Only one. Only. Well, 2 actually is safe. The problem with it is you have to wait until it is fully cured.
And that takes what, like 48 hours, 72?
Some people were saying 5 days just to be safe.
5 days?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But 2 is actually safe. The thing is, most people are not trying to wait. And that's why there's such a hard push on 1, and that the community has now come to believe that GE Silicone plus 1 is the only safe kind. It's that 2 you can use, you just have to take extra precautions.
So people...
But I've noticed that a lot within the community. Something gets screamed long and loud enough that
everybody just takes it in as a guarantee that's the only way.
Right, like the beta tank, 40-gallon breeder with multiple males. Why do I want to do it? Because I can't find anybody that has and can tell me it doesn't work.
We could go as simple as, as the fairy tale that I hear almost every day is, can betas, I heard betas have to be by themselves. No,
Yeah.
They don't have to be by themselves. They technically are considered a loner fish, they
I'd be
can
more
live
likely to house an Oscar solo than I would a beta.
and consider,
Or a flower horn.
Right.
Well, you want to
Yeah.
talk super aggressive.
Yeah, definitely. But that's nobody ever knows, and I have it in my shops all day, where I'm kind of broadcasting and showing it off. It's like you can mix fish, you just got to be careful.
Yeah. And, that's part of what I did with the Southeast Asian tank was I kept that theme of these are all from Asia.
Yep.
If there's a chance they're going to play well together, it's there. Like, I was talking to somebody, she's in Australia, random person on the fish group, because, you just start a random conversation, it goes to Messenger.
Always.
And she apparently has a tank of, she's got American, South American, and African cichlids all in the same tank peacefully.
If it works, it works.
And, people were like,
She probably did it when they were really young.
how does this work? This shouldn't work. Why does this work?
Yeah, yeah,
Which is what I love.
yeah. I mix Americans with Africans all the time, at my store, and even my bosses come in going, this works for you. I'm like every blue moon there's a squabble.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. But I mean they're aggressive fish. To not have a squabble, even if you did everything right, would be almost
Right, and there's that level of just like we mentioned, it's when we go to local fish stores, we get to pick out the fish. We can see its temperament because there is that. Can you say that you've never met a nice Oscar?
I've met pretty nice Oscars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the Oscar scale.
Yeah. Yes. Oscar wise. Yes.
But that's like kind of the same thing with pit bulls. Like, we're just gonna paint them with a broad brush. And I'm like, no, you can't paint any fish species with a broad brush like that.
Yeah.
Just because
there's a general-ish about fish. I like that, general-ish about fish.
You're gonna use that at work.
Yeah, I know. I might even have to write that down. There's a general-ish about fish where yes, they do this, and yes, they act like that. But every fish has their own personality and has their own mind.
Quirks.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This is what I like to do.
Yep. Totally different every time.
Yeah. My angelfish, Lucifer, where, as soon as I would pull out my old phone with my old camera, he would just turn straight towards the camera, point straight up, and be like, nope. I get a new phone with a fancy camera, and he's like, finally, it's worthy of my picture. Let me strike a pose.
Yeah. Finally, you spent the money on some good stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, any other things that you can think of that are just die hard, like the no?
The nose. The hard nose. You know what? People also do like hard nose with goldfish and other fish. That's another common one that I hear a lot.
Housing with anything else?
Yeah, being housed with other fish. So like goldfish with mollies, goldfish with platies, goldfish with other bigger fish like bigger catfish, not like cories or anything like that. But definitely doing stuff like that. A lot of people will not do that. People are like, it's goldfish, it's goldfish, it's goldfish, or goldfish with koi. I see that a lot too.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, you can mix fish. Goldfish can get to a decent size, but so can mollies. You know, mollies can get to a decent size.
Or even like my weird tetra in there.
Yeah.
My giant skirt tetra.
Yeah, you've been like feeding it steroids. Yeah.
You can tell which one's the alpha in there.
Yeah, it's humongous and super chunky. I love it. But
Fish too.
yeah.
He
But,
ran the arowana.
really?
Yeah.
Well, he's big enough. I don't know why I'm surprised.
Yeah, he went up and was like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah.
Boom!
Ah.
I was like, "Oh."
Oh, hello.
Arowana kind of had that reaction of like,
What the heck is going on? Yeah.
little thing just attacked me.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
crazy.
Yeah. Goldfish. With any other fish, I do it. I've done it in the past. It's harder because goldfish have I believe they have a singular urinary tract. So like basically right after they eat, they go like almost instantly go to the bathroom.
Right.
So they're constantly pooping and they got a fast metabolism. So they're like always eating. They're garbage dump, trucks basically. But keeping that water parameter clean enough to mix them up with another fish, that's where the difficulty lies. Putting them together with other fish, totally doable.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's another no, that I hear all the time. I'm like, no, you can do it. Just
Bakers together.
the what?
However you say it, everybody seems to say it different. Biker, Bakur.
Okay, yeah. I hear. I used to say Bashir the
Bashir,
entire
okay.
time, but it's biker.
DS9 Pride.
Yeah, it's biker.
It's biker.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the correct pronunciation is biker.
Okay. I've seen you can't house them together, and I'm like, yet you're selling a captive bred one.
Yep. See, and that's another new thing that's coming out more is captive bred fish.
Yeah.
Captive bred fish have I don't want to say don't have the tendencies, but they're less likely because they've been brought up not having to
Fight to survive.
Fight to survive, exactly. They've been pampered, by us, being fed every day, having beautiful water quality,
It's kind of like dogs today. If we were to try and release pugs back into the wild, it wouldn't work so well.
Well, not too hot. But I mean, yeah, that's exactly my point. I mean, and so, but with having aquaculture fish, you're getting less diseases.
Yep. But as I was trying to bring up with that, you say I can't have two together, yet you bred them.
Well, and that's another thing is with aquaculture fish, they're less aggressive just in nature too.
Yeah. So it does kind of bring up that point of, okay, I can't have them together, but how did you breed them? Because last I checked, breeding requires two.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's been a while since
snails.
it's been a while since high school biology, but last I checked, for baby making, takes two.
Yeah.
Except in random weird fish species, snails, and
yeah.
some random reptiles and frogs, as we learned from Jurassic Park.
Yes. Like I said, I'm not that big of a reptile guy, so my knowledge goes only so far.
And actually, there have been circumstances of there was a ball python that went on the market a few years ago. It was actually local to me back in Virginia, where it was a asexually reproduced ball python.
Wow.
Female had been bred.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
She had been kept completely isolated from any male her entire life.
Must have like a cut in my straw. I don't know what the hell's going on.
And one day, turned up pregnant, dropped eggs.
Very interesting.
And all of the offspring came out alive and well.
How long was she by herself?
Years.
Oh wow.
Like her entire life.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, certain reptiles are capable of it, and I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing random cases of it in the fish industry, in the fish hobby.
Well,
Because we are keeping fish that were never kept before.
right.
I know I posted an article about it to the Facebook page for the channel of that there are 3 zoos in the world now that are equipped with deep sea chambers.
Really?
Yep. I want to say the Baltimore Zoo, the Baltimore Aquarium, the Monterey Aquarium, and some random one in Japan because, of course, Japan.
Oh, okay.
And they are, right now, they are very, what is that? I think they refer to them as like 5, 10-gallon tanks.
Uh-huh.
But these things take up, a huge amount of room because there are that many pumps and compressors to keep it pressurized.
Right.
But they have, they brought crabs up from deep sea in these chambers and actually are housing them in these zoos, feeding them. I did look into that because I'm like, okay, you have it pressurized, how do you get the food in there? They actually created a system where the food gets dropped into a tube, sealed, pressurized, and dropped into the tank.
You know what? I think I remember seeing something like that. They're taking deep sea creatures or something like that, capsulizing them.
There you go.
And pressurizing it, and then bringing it up, and then over years, slowly, gradually adjusting the pressure. That way they can actually live like in normal seawater.
Yeah.
And so that they can do studies on that. I think they're getting more and more into that.
Yeah.
Because there's so much of the ocean we don't know about. So it's like tons of like scary shit.
I mean, they just did that study down in Antarctica where they discovered a bunch of new species, and there was one that scientists pulled it out. It's from an entirely new, I think, genus.
Holy shit.
And he's like, this is the weirdest looking fish I've ever seen in my life. If you go Google pictures of it, this thing has like giant eyes on this tiny little, like, almost slug-like body.
That's
really weird looking.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah. So it's we're seeing stuff, and we've also got the hybrids that are now coming in. The flower horn.
Yep.
A flower horn does not exist in the wild.
Nope.
An electric blue ram, or an electric blue balloon ram, is completely a hybrid fish.
Yep.
These are not things that would naturally occur.
Yep. Manipulated with breeding, just like dogs.
Yep. So we might see asexual reproduction in fish.
Possibly. We're seeing just mass breeding of fish and stuff like that, and getting just beautiful colors and just beautiful fish. It's magnificent, beautiful colors. I saw this beautiful premium A-grade flower horn. It was gorgeous.
And see, flower horns do nothing for me.
What?
Yeah.
See, well, I've never been a flower owner myself, but I've always appreciated their value, their color.
I mean, it's one of those, it doesn't do anything for me. I don't have anything against it.
Right.
And it's that,
you don't hate the fish.
Right. And you've seen, what I go for is replicating biotopes in my tanks. So that level of, I'm not going to put a fish that, let me recreate its natural habitat of a laboratory.
Yeah.
Now I will admit that, the electric blue balloon ram, yes, that hit me right in the heartstrings because it's the angriest little fish with a mohawk.
Yep.
And I love it.
I love it too. It's awesome.
Because my little baby one tried to pick a fight with the discus. And the discus did not know what to do. The discus kind of sat there like,
what the hell is that?
I'm gonna go over there now. This thing's nuts.
Yeah. There's a lot of different cool little stuff coming out. They're coming out like a glow beta.
I saw that.
Yeah. There's a glow beta that's going to be coming out. I'm looking to try to get my hands on that after the new year.
I don't know how I feel about that one yet.
I don't know how I feel about that either, but then again, it's like almost every fish is man-made now. With breeding and stuff.
We're going to pause for a second as the Air Force gets a commercial. There's one. There's the wingman. There's the wingman. Maybe. This commercial Air Force.
And we're back.
What happens when you live a mile and a half from a runway?
Well, just living in this part of town, you know, the flybys all day.
Yeah. Actually, they will fly low enough that you can see the pilot in the cockpit.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Depending on how it shakes the house, I can tell you exactly what flew over.
They're not supposed to do that.
I understand that, but when I try to look into who to complain to, you kind of get redirected in a giant circle that leads nowhere.
Yeah.
Because the FAA is kind of like, it's really more the military's thing. And the military's like, you see this note? Yeah, it says I can do whatever I want.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. So, luckily it doesn't seem to disrupt the fish at all.
No.
Yeah.
It is pretty low-key.
And being on this side of town, I don't worry much about the earthquakes from Cali.
Yeah. It's not continuous. It's real quick. It's like, and then it's like...
Yeah. So, but no, I mean, we've covered a lot today on different stuff.
Yeah, I'm actually, there was a couple of things I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
As far as we were talking about different like husbandries and stuff like that. I like doing different stuff that normally doesn't work, and so like what I like doing is mixing like brackish fish with different like community fish. So like you're playing with fish that normally don't go together.
Gotcha.
But like, and not just going together, but also like you're playing with parameters as well.
I
So
saw
like
somebody
like mollies and
I think it was in one of our local groups this morning. Somebody was posting about giving away brackish betas.
yeah. See, that's the cool stuff that I like.
And I was like,
What? Yeah, that there's like when you play with like different parameters and stuff like that, like taking mollies from freshwater to brackish conditions, and mollies from freshwater to brackish, or eels from freshwater to brackish, and stuff like that. So like that's stuff that I also am very intrigued at, and I don't get to play around with it very often.
And that's something that if you've watched Jeremy Wade River Monsters.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's almost too much strictness in the hobby. This fish requires this.
Yeah.
Because we see stuff like naturally occurring, or else he wouldn't have a TV show.
Right.
Where, okay, this gigantic saltwater fish of the sawfish.
Mm-hmm.
Swam not just into brackish water in Australia. No. Swam 25 miles upstream.
Yep.
Got stuck there and breeds. And guess what? The offspring, they breed there.
Yep. Yeah. I hear this all the time. It's like, oh, there's only one way of doing this. There's only one way of doing that. The great thing about this hobby is it's always evolving.
Yeah.
It's like a mountain path. There's multiple ways up the mountain. It's not just one path,
And that's why, like, my plan with the multi-male beta tank, like, I'm planning on heavily documenting the entire process. And that way, for somebody else down the road, we have a documentation of how this worked.
Yep.
Treat it like you would a science experiment.
Yep. But if you're going to treat it like a science experiment, then you need to have, what's the wording? Group A and then Group B. Because just having a single group, because you could have different, like we said earlier, different personalities with different fish. So you may get really, really lucky and just have no problems, or you could have the worst problems where they're just continuously fighting, So like, if you're going to treat it like a science experiment, you're going to need different bases of oh my God.
True.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yes, and I don't know if I feel like setting up 3 40-gallon breeders.
I know, yeah, I know. And then, but see, because you're wanting to do 40s, that's a lot of space.
It's a huge amount of space. Especially with 20-gallon sumps underneath.
Oh, yeah. And all that plumbing, and yeah. Oh, yeah. That's probably true.
Yeah.
Well, I digress.
I'm not working at ATM here. I'm not
getting
money, right?
Yeah. Hobby's already expensive.
Right. Which I have heard interesting things coming out of there since they are local. Massive price decreases.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about that too, and I got a buddy who works there.
Yeah.
He's been saying there's a lot of different changes and stuff like that, and it's a lot cheaper, which I'm actually kind of cool and interested to see, and that might bring ATM back to the local hobbyist.
Right.
You know,
because that is one thing I noticed, getting involved in the hobby in this town was, okay, we're the town with ATM.
Yep.
The guys from Tanks.
Yep.
Nobody mentions them.
Nope.
They're like pariah within the local community.
Yeah. Well, they're just overall super expensive. If you got money, they make great tanks. Yeah. I mean, I love watching their show. Beautiful tanks.
Oh yeah, they do some incredible things.
Yep.
They do tanks that you and I sit there and go, can I just play in your shop for a day?
Yeah. Can I just look? Yeah.
Just give me access to your shop for one day to make a tank.
Yep. No, they're coming back to the hobbyist kind of level.
The people who got them where they are.
Exactly. And this hobby, everything lives and dies on the hobbyist. I feel like all the mom and pop shops, we need them. All the hobbyists, we need them.
And there is actually one of the local stores that I mentioned to them of like, look, you guys may want to actually start getting involved in social media.
Yeah.
You may want to actually start replying to your Yelp reviews.
Yeah, communicating.
Because, yes. And they're like, well, we know what happened. And I'm like, that's great. Somebody who's never been to your store and reads that review, they don't get to hear your side of it.
Right. And everybody gets a little bit of trashed, a little bit.
Yeah.
At one event, they get trashed on, and then it spreads. This community is so tight here in Vegas. I feel like everybody knows. If you don't know me, you know somebody that I communicate with very often with, so like...
You got here today and I was like, hey, I got a list of people I'm supposed to tell you from.
Yeah. Jennifer says hi, Jack says hi, Veronica wanted to say that she misses you.
Yeah.
No, everybody knows everybody, and I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
But we're also lucky enough that, we've got 2 local fish groups on Facebook.
Yep.
That are very strong in community. What
groups are you talking about?
Fish Traders and the other Las Vegas one for fish but both of them, get involved in the barbecue.
Oh yeah.
And we've got local fish barbecues where we're not barbecuing the fish. We're all meeting up for a barbecue as hobbyists.
Yes.
It's done in the parking lot.
I love that. I love being able to see a bunch of people and meet people that I haven't seen before, but that I've talked to in the past, but just never said hi face to face.
Or, like the first time I actually got over to Aquatic Treasures, and I had talked to them on the phone probably half a dozen times, and on Facebook, and they're like, oh, you're Ben. And I'm like, I am.
Yeah, that's me.
Like, oh,
yeah,
you're this person. Cool.
Yeah. There's a lot of great groups here in Vegas. On Facebook. There's Reefs of Las Vegas. That's the saltwater side. But on freshwater side, we got Fish Traders of Las Vegas. Great group.
I feel like we're also very lucky that our local fish stores aren't overly competitive with each other. If they don't have what you're looking for, most of them will send you to another store.
That does. Yeah. And that's, the business in general is very competitive.
Yeah.
But you're right. We have a great group of people here in this valley that is very just together. So even the stores, my store is right in the heart of town, and Artistic Oceans is right down the street.
Yeah.
I send so much love to that
store. Drive past them to get to your place.
Yeah, I send so much love to that store. I'm just like, hey, they're a mile down the road. They're not that far. You'll love it.
Yeah. And, it's things like, you also know that, hey, I don't have this. Let me send you somewhere that does. Yeah. I go get it. I'm still going to come back to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're going to come back to me because I gave you great advice.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to trust me. And that's what it is. This hobby's about trust, because the one time you get screwed over, you either give up the hobby because you just got into it and maybe everything died and you get screwed over, you know, which happens, I swear to God, to everybody.
And honestly, if you're just starting out in the hobby, guess what? Fish die.
Yeah. Fish die.
Let me tell you.
Stuff dies.
You can sit there for hours examining this little fish body.
God, that sounds morbid. Like hella morbid. Like shit dies. Like getting
Punk fish keeper.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah. That's true.
But you can sit there and try and figure out, oh my God, what went wrong? My water parameters are perfect, and this and that. Oh God, what did I do? Sometimes they just die.
I mean, you still want to be aware. You know, it's like, oh, my fish died. Well, let's make sure everything's okay, you know. But I mean, yeah, you're right, 100%.
Yeah, or oh my God, what's going on with this fish? I had that with the reason I got the honey gourmand for that tank was that my powder blue both developed gourmand disease.
Yep.
And nothing you can really do about it.
Yep.
They just develop it and they die.
Yeah, and that's, I try without getting too much into it, you know, and into the subject, but like that's the same thing like bloated stomach, you know, you can Epsom salt, you know, and aquarium salt, and then, you know, like there's this small little home remedy of doing, you know, the shell peas, you know, and stuff like that. But I mean, it's like sometimes it just doesn't work.
And there is also a level of how much money are you going to spend to save a $2.99 fish?
Oh, see, on the side of saltwater, where my little clownfish, I have a flurry, and it's that one clownfish is $90.
Yeah,
I'm gonna spend the $10 or $12.
No, and I get that. But I'm talking like when I've seen the people
a neon tetra.
Neon tetra, or like my guppy died.
Yeah,
and I've been crying.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
it wasn't even a designer guppy. Calm down.
Wow.
I care about all my fish. I do.
I love my fish, but I also realize how things work in the world.
Totally.
And like that's one thing, especially coming from, I worked retail for many years, and I will say probably the phrase that I have discovered that pisses me off so much is in the beta groups. I rescued this fish.
Oh, yeah.
No, you paid for it.
Yeah.
And that in turn means they will stock more because that is how capitalism works.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of, because people see them in those cups and stuff like that. It's like, that's how they're sold. It's not how we recommend it.
No.
You know, that's not, we don't say, hey, keep them in this cup. You know, it's for carrying, transportation, and selling needs.
Yeah. Or even I've seen, you know, I rescued this fish from this chain store, and it was in a big tank.
Yep.
You know, one of the display tanks, but I rescued it. No, you bought it.
That fish looks pretty happy. I don't know how you saved it.
Bought it.
Yeah.
That is what happened. You conducted a transaction, and because you bought it, they will send that store more.
That's it.
You're not gonna like, if you walked into one of the chain locations and bought every beta they had, guess what? Next week they would have twice as many betas.
Yeah, exactly.
Because corporate would sit there and go, I mean, apparently they like betas.
Yeah, they're doing better.
Send them more.
Yep. Most definitely.
So, yeah. And I'm sure you hear the phrase.
1,000 times every day.
I'm going to save this fish.
Yeah.
You're going to buy it.
Yeah, I hear it all the time. You know, I take really good care. I'm very diligent because on that corporate level, the difference from like any mom and pop shop, you know, mom and pop shops are a little bit laid back. They're not crucified as all the corporate levels and stuff like that. And because I feel like they're, you know, all the corporate levels are on a broader scale. You know, they're easily viewable by a bigger scale of people in comparison to your mom and shop.
You also end up with, you know, 20 people trying to micromanage your tanks.
Yes. Yep. 20 people try to micromanage. That nobody micromanages my tanks. I manage those tanks. So like, luckily, my department's a little bit different. My store is a little bit different. But I mean, you know, That's the little bit of the difference, you know. But then again, I'm again coming from that hobbyist side where like I was a hobby before I was even a seller of fish.
Right, because you worked at one of the local stores before you went to this one.
Right. I worked, well, so like I took care of fish for years. Then, you know, I worked I also worked for Pisces Reef. You know, so like I worked for Pisces Reef for a little bit and learned a lot. You know, I try to take every location that I go to because I don't know everything.
Yeah.
If anybody says that they do, they're lying. You know, there's so many things
They're
we are
lying
still
to
learning.
You and themselves.
And themselves, exactly. So like I'm always trying to learn, and I mean I don't know everything, so I'm trying to always keep my ears open, and I learned a lot there. You know, and then being here now, you know, I'm still learning from, well, not necessarily my other guys, but from people that come into me. You know, when you come into me, you know, and you talk to me and you tell me, like, for example, I learned something today, you know, of not being able to have that one species of stingray, you know, you can't have. I did not know that, you know, so like, you know, I'm always learning. So, I mean, you always keep your open and kind of, like I said, this hobby is always changing and developing, so always being kind of on the pulse and knowing and learning and stuff like that, it's the best thing.
And it is absolutely something that, you know, you can follow. I mean, there's a ton of fish groups I follow on Facebook. There's a bunch that I lurk in, and there's a few that I comment in.
There is four of them that are like hardcore, like that I tell anybody and everybody to join into these four. You got Reefs of Las Vegas, you have Reefs of Las Vegas, that's saltwater, but like freshwater wise, you have Plants of Las Vegas, Planted Aquariums of Las Vegas, excuse me. You have Fish Traders of Las Vegas, and then you have, what's that other one?
I'm looking right now.
I feel like I'm going brain dead.
So I've got on my groups, I've got Unusual Aquatics, Fish, Plants, and Shrimp. They're actually a new one.
But that's not Vegas.
Yeah.
That's not Vegas restricted though.
Las Vegas Fish Traders, Las Vegas Fish and Aquarium buy-sell trade discussion.
Nah.
That one's kind of meh.
That's like,
I see more tanks and just filters and stuff for sale on there. But see, like, there's because let's see, I've got Las Vegas Freshwater Aquarists.
Las Vegas Freshwater Aquarium Society. That's the other big one.
I'll probably have to join that one.
Yeah, those are my top four. Those are you know, those are great group of people. You know, and everybody has their own specialty.
Yeah.
You know, and which I love.
And see, like, I joined one. It was a Cichlid Conversations, and that's just a cichlid group. There was another one I found, and I didn't join it because, you know, read the description when you're looking at a group. They flat out were like, we are purists, we believe in one species only tanks. And I'm like, nope, I'm not going to work here.
Bye. Yeah.
Not the group for me. I will just make you guys angry.
Pissed off.
I've got YouTube Fish Keepers, obviously.
Yep.
Saltwater Aquarium Reef Keepers, Planted Beta Fish Tanks, Beta Fish Keepers, Freshwater Fish Keepers, Fish Keepers. The two Las Vegas groups, Tropical Cold Water Brackish Keeping. That's actually probably my favorite group.
See, that's what I was talking about. I love dealing with brackish tanks. That's something I don't deal with.
This group actually is the reason I started this channel.
Yeah?
I was talking to the admin one day, talking about the projects I was working on. I did some really bad videos for what I was working on.
Yeah.
And everybody loved them. And that's why I started the channel.
Nice.
Arrogant aquariums I do enjoy because a lot of times they're just assholes, and it's kind of my kind of asshole.
It's my kind of people.
Hey, what should I put in this 55? Water.
Yeah.
Fish. DIY Monster Keepers. They're great. I've learned a lot about building tanks from them. Because I mean, these are guys that are building, 1,800 gallon plywood tanks.
Wow.
Yeah. And they are beautiful. When they're done, these tanks are gorgeous. And learning the techniques to building these is something that I've realized you can scale down. Sometimes, and like I ran the math on it for my 120. I do want to do a 120. Will it be cheaper for me to buy it, or will it be cheaper for me to make it? I would actually save $15 buying it.
Yep.
Only $15.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they mass produce these tanks, at such a bulk that it's cheap for them.
But when you're looking at building a 300-gallon tank for an arowana, that's when, okay, we're going the plywood route with some glass paints.
Yep.
Cool. Advanced aqua topics, fish tank enablers, and unusual aquatics, fish, plants, and shrimp. I follow a ton of groups because that's the thing. I see some things that I know if that was posted in a different group, they'd lose their minds.
Yeah.
And that's stuff that I'm interested in.
Yep.
One of my favorite comedians, Josh Wolf, says it great. I like weird shit.
I like weird shit.
When you show me a tank that shouldn't work, or, like I see it a bunch coming out of Asia, the aquascape tanks where they have like a 20-gallon cube and they've got this like 8-foot long piece of driftwood like coming out of it.
Oh, I love those aquascapes.
Yeah, where I'm like, it makes no sense, but I love it.
Yeah, that's another thing I just personally want to do at home is get like some kind of like 12-gallon cube and then get some kind of like really nice spider wood and then do like, I saw this really
Did you see the Lion
DIY.
King one?
What?
Did you see the Lion King one?
No.
I'll see if I can find it and I'll send it to you.
Send me that link.
Somebody, and people will go, the Lion King one, somebody made Pride Rock in an aquascape.
Yes and yes.
And they put 2 fish in there and that was it.
See, and I don't even want to do fish. I just want to do...
They put like 2 gold tetras in there.
Yeah.
So it was Simba and Nala.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm not even mad.
I'll take
amazing.
it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
No, but I've seen just really nice aquascaping, and that's something I wish I was better at. I practice with my aquascaping, and I want to get better at that. But just beautiful stuff.
I mean, what do you think of my aquascaping? I know it's not the best out there.
You're no master, sir, but I dig it. It's good.
I think is the biggest winner for.
I mentioned it earlier today. I was like, dude, my girl saw the pipes and kind of just dug it.
Yeah.
She was just kind of like digging it.
The reason I actually
simplified.
did that was in one of the saltwater groups. Somebody posted a picture of doing some DIY underwater piping with PVC, and they had unfortunately, as beautiful as the piece was, because it looked ancient. Like it had been detached and like crumbling apart kind of thing. Well done, but they used the wrong paint.
Oh, see, and that's why I don't like spray painting
They use like straight up acrylic paint.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Looked gorgeous, but everybody's like, you can't put that in the tank.
Yeah.
But everybody else started commenting with their tanks that they have pipework in. And I saw some pieces that just blew my mind. There was one woman had 2 300-gallon tanks. One was a reef section, and the pipe came out of the wall, came out, and actually the rock went up around the pipe. There was this huge wheel that they had attached onto it because the pipe was probably about that big.
Yeah.
Had this big wheel attached, and it came out, made a 90-degree into the bottom of the tank, and it looked like real underwater piping.
Uh-huh.
And then on the other side of that tank, because she had it built into the wall, was another 300-gallon tank where the pipe came out that side and went down at an angle into the seabed because that was an open water tank.
Wow.
And I was like, that is fucking awesome.
Yeah, that is...
You merged your 2 tanks.
How much did that cost?
More money than we have.
Yeah. Oh my God. I can't even imagine that.
We sell your car, my car, and still wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, we still need to,
And DIY the hell of it out of it and still come up short.
Yeah, we still.
Because you're talking 600 gallons right there.
Yes, sir.
And, beautiful tank. There's another one if you Google, I think it's like steampunk pipe aquarium or something. It'll come up, and it's a one of the tall cubes.
Yep.
and they've got pipe work coming from the bottom straight to the top with a bunch of like knobs and stuff going all the way up. And they built coral onto the pipe. So the coral's not even on the bottom of the tank.
Yep.
Looks great.
I see that all the time, and that takes time, of course, because, unless you're spending just that much money just plastering coral all the way across.
Yeah.
But I mean, but yeah, I love that natural aquascape of coral, or even with freshwater, doing it with plants. If you can get like a natural moss, growing up it, it looks just super clean. I'm all about that natural. Yeah. All about that natural.
And that's the thing, is like trying to go for that natural look. Just try to keep it real.
Yep.
Yeah, what's the point of, to me, I think the tanks that bug me the most are like the bare bottom.
Yeah.
I get it, but I'm like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Not my thing. Nope.
You know what? And I'm actually about to do that with my my little BioCube, is go bare bottom. I've never been a bare bottom guy, but I want to try the technique. And the downside is that you're losing so much bacteria from your sand that it's going to help, or it's going to kind of go against you on trying to maintain those parameters.
Yeah.
But I have one. Oops, I keep hitting the table. I have one clown, and then I have coral. So like it's super low key, and as long as I keep the water changes up to date and up, everything in line, it keeps everything super clean, and it's a lot easier to maintain.
Yeah. I will say that is one thing, since you mentioned the clowns, that really surprised me when I got in the hobby, is how murderous they are.
Dude, they're assholes. They're
Finding Nemo was a lie.
Yeah. Hey, I thought he was nice.
No.
Maybe when he's small he is.
And apparently the maroons are like serial killers.
Well, yeah. That's why there was no Finding Nemo 3, 4, 5, because once he got into teenage years, he was an asshole.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just, I did not realize clowns were that murderous.
I'm going to say this, but I can guarantee I'm not the only one, because it happens to my girlfriend's tank as well. But every time I stick my hand in the tank, my flurry will come and bite the crap out of me. Just bite the crap out of me.
I've seen that a lot on the saltwater groups.
Yeah.
But I think we've gotten quite a bit of material for today. So,
awesome, man.
Call this the first episode.
Yeah, we really discussed a lot. I can't wait to come back.
Awesome. Hopefully the next time you come back, we'll have a couple other people here, because I'm going to do a few episodes of like one-on-one, and then I want to have like a group discussion thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who do you have coming in again after me?
I got Josh coming in next. Whether he likes it or not, I'm helping him pick up a 75. He can do this for me.
Yeah. It's trade.
And Aaron. I think it's Aaron. Aaron or Alfie, one of the two, from over at Aquatic Treasures. I want him on here, and he keeps telling me no because he doesn't want to be on camera, and I'm like, shut up.
Yeah. You're showing up. I don't care. Nice.
So, yeah. So, want to thank Grant for being here today, and hopefully you guys like this.